Hi everyone, it's Colleen from Irish Rose Creations. Happy Halloween! I'm on the blog today sharing a cute and playful Halloween card using some pretty new products from Picket Studios. So let's get started and have some fun on this Halloween day. How shall we? So these are the products we're going to be using. We're going to be using Be My Boo, which is absolutely the cutest ghost you could ever see. We're going to be using Bella Boo. She's from the line of Freckle Friends. Then we're just going to be using an older stamp set, just the tree. We're using the basic die cutting set 1. It's a whole series of die cuts, but we're just using this one part to create a window pane. And then finally, we're going to be using a 6x8 stencil called Petals. A few other things we're going to use are 2 of the mini pouncers that I love, the ink, the black ink, and then some paper glaze in Purple Rain. So this is everything we're going to need for our card today, and we've got a little bit of work to do, so let's get started on the first step. So the first thing I'm going to do is stamp Bella Boo and the pumpkins and the sentiment that I want using that permanent black ink by Picket Studios, because I'm going to color her with my alcohol markers. And this permanent black ink will not bleed when you use alcohol markers. So I highly suggest you use that if you like to use your Olo markers or your Copic markers, whatever it is that you choose to use. So I stamped her a few times to get a solid image, and now I'm going to color her with my markers in shades of purple and gray. I'm trying to keep the colors pretty neutral, meaning just purple, orange, lime green, all the traditional Halloween colors, right? So while I'm coloring her, I'm going to go ahead and play some music for you, and then I'll come back and join you in a few minutes. So enjoy the coloring process. My coloring is finished, so now I'm going to go in with a Deco gel pen in gold. Picket Studio sells a line of these Deco gel pens in different colors, and they're all very shimmery, and they are so smooth. I highly encourage you to get these to add to your stash. I wanted to add some extra detail and shine to my Bella and the kitty, and so I'm just going through her hair and a few other spots on her and on the cat to add that shine. And I'll show you in a few minutes what it looks like when it's finished. But it just takes something that's average and makes it wow with that shine and that pretty gold color. See how pretty that is? It's just adds a nice little touch. Now I'm ready to die cut all my items. I'm die cutting her and the pumpkins and the sentiment because they're going to be sitting as a focal point in the front of my card. And once I'm done die cutting, then we're going to work on the background of the card, and that's actually a lot of fun. So we're just going to finish up here, and while I'm die cutting, let me share with you that everything I'm using today will be in the description box, so you can pick and choose whatever you'd like to buy and add it to your stash. And keep in mind that you can use these things any time of the year. It doesn't just have to be Halloween. You could create a cool birthday card using these elements. So um, let's get to the next step. Now that my little Bella and pumpkins are done, they look so cute. Now we're going to work on the background. So I wanted the background to be kind of Halloween-y, and you can see that it is because we're using lime green and purple. I'm going to ink blend in both of those shades first, not being careful at all about how the ink blending looks, because this is going to be part of the background and only a part of it is going to be seen through the card panel. And I'm also going to be coming back in there with these mini pouncers that Picket Friends Studio sells. And then I'm going to be adding more detail. So I'm not worried at all about how smooth and beautiful the ink blending looks. I just wanted to apply color. I really love the pouncers as well. They come in full size and they come in mini. And I like the minis because these can create like a bokeh effect, which is exactly what I'm doing here. I am literally pouncing it right on the top of the ink blending that I did to create a little more depth to the background. And so there's a lot of different ways you can use these pouncers in both the mini and the full sizes. Now I'm going to be coming back in with water because this ink that I'm using is reactive and I wanted to add some water splotches. So not only do we have ink blending going on, we have the bokeh dots in the background, and then now we also have some water spots. And I like that because it just makes it more of a mixed media feel and more interesting. So that worked out really, really well. And now I'm going to get ready to continue to work on the background. So this is the part that's going to go over that background, and it's just a window pane. And I used the die cutting one set that I showed you earlier. You can see it here to create the window pane along with some acetate. So it looks like a window. And then I went in and stenciled this petal stencil using this paper glaze in Purple Rain. And I did it on the side because it takes a while for that glaze to dry, but you can see how well it shows up on black card panel. It's the paper glazes that they sell are absolutely incredible. So now you see what it looks like when the two layers are together. So the next step is now to build that background even more by creating kind of a semi-spooky scene, but not too spooky. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to take this card panel and then I'm going to create what looks like branches coming down from the corner. So all I did was take that tree, flipped it upside down, and now I'm going to stamp it on that panel in black ink. And that's it. And then once that is done, then I'm going to go to the next step, which will be to decide which cute little ghosts I want to use, because I want the ghosts to look like they're flying around in the sky outside behind the window pane. So I'm lining them up according to how I envision them in my card panel, and then I'll go ahead and stamp the two ghosts and color them in the background, and then everything will be ready to be put together. I really am so happy about how this card's coming together. It's so cute, and it's going to my 10-year-old granddaughter. So I didn't want it to be too scary anyway. I wanted it to be kind of fun for her. So now I'm putting all my layers together. The colored layer is going to go onto a 5.5 by 4.25 sized card base, and then I'm going to add the ghosts. But what I'm going to do is line the ghosts up behind the window pane so I'm sure that I'm putting them where they can be seen, and then I'll adhere them down. So I'm so glad that you joined me today. I'm just so happy to be able to entertain you on Halloween Day with a fun Halloween card. There's so many products that Picket Fence Studio sells, and as I mentioned before, I will be including them in the description box. But please be sure that you like and subscribe this YouTube channel so that you can see all of their videos, because they have an incredibly talented design team with all kinds of different styles that will inspire you with the products that you use. So you can see that my ghosts are showing up here pretty well. So they look like they're outside kind of flying around a little bit. And then the next step will be to put Bella Boo and the pumpkins in front. So she looks like she's on the other side of the window pane. Now I'm going to be popping them up on foam tape just to give this card a little bit more dimension. And I like that this foam tape isn't too thick, so the card is still very easy to mail. Sometimes cards can get way too thick and they make it hard to mail. So she's going to be popped up on front with the pumpkins and the sentiment, and then this card is finished. And I really like the purple along with that green because it really makes that background stand out. And the ghosts are just so cute, they wouldn't scare anybody, would they? Because they're so cute. So here's my finished card. I really am so happy with how this turned out. And there were a lot of steps to it, but it was well worth it. Now, at the last minute, I decided, I think I'm going to stamp a sentiment on the inside because, again, I am giving this to my 10-year-old granddaughter. So I just decided to stamp a sentiment, and then I grabbed a third one of the little ghosties, and I did a second generation stamping of the ghost so that you can see that. So this is it for my card. Thank you so much for joining me today.